Oh, the train. Wait, what just happened? I couldn't tell what happened. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. This is probably going to be the last Code With Me video for 4.0. I know I've said it plenty of times that 4.0 is almost ready, but I just felt the need to do this one video and hopefully I'll be done with this series. So, what's the big exciting feature that I'm adding today? It is... I don't know if you guys can guess this right now, but here's a hint. What item am I holding right now? And why is this train just sitting here with the doors open even though it's not all the way at the front of the platform right now? The answer is because this train is being driven manually. And that's right, I'm holding the driver key right here and it's been re-added into the creative inventory. So, the reason why I decided to add this feature back was because Churbird reminded me, Churbird is one of the other admins on the Discord server, he reminded me that it would probably be a good idea to at least have the same features as the 3.2 versions had of the mod. So it wouldn't make sense to release a new version and take out some features. So here we are. I decided to just focus hard for one day. So on the weekend, right now it's Saturday, and I'm putting my head down and really trying to grind this feature out. So here we are. I've added in some basics of manual driving. So as you can see, I can control the doors, open and close them. They're kind of fun to play with. Pressing the same hotkeys as before, and I can also drive it. You notice that there are actually 7 gears now instead of, or they're not called gears, they're probably called like power options, right? Power levels? I don't know. But yeah, the higher I go, the faster the train will go. And you notice that there's not a proper GUI right now. So that's probably what I'm gonna work on. Yeah, right now I'm just having these two numbers display on screen in my hotbar text, I guess. But it doesn't really look that great. And it shows me currently what power level I'm at. So -7 would be like a break 7 level. And then the second number is just a door value. So -1 would be door closing and +1 would be door opening. As you can see over there, that door opened. And then same thing with the door close. And then I can start my train up again. Oh, if you notice that when the doors are open, I can't go beyond -1, and that's intentional, because you don't want to move the train when the doors are open. So you gotta close the doors first, and then you can go ahead and start your train. And then I can't open the doors while the train's moving as well. So I'm pressing the door open button, but it's not doing anything. So it's until that I come to a complete stop is when I can open the doors, like that. Okay, so those are like basically the same features as 3.2 had, and now I'm going to work on the GUI. So first of all, let's close out of Minecraft and head over to our mappings, because I don't think we currently have mappings for... Oh, we don't currently have mappings for GUI rendering right now. So I've added something for 1.20.4, so let's go ahead and copy this for the rest of our versions. So I'm gonna start with the fabric versions first. I'm gonna do... oh wait, no. I need to do it for the event registry client. Let's see. Okay, render registry client. So I'm going to paste this in for all of them. The Fabric API should be the same for all the versions, hopefully. Oh, I guess not. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at that real quick. Alright, there we go. I forgot that below 1.20 point something, we don't have the draw context class for Minecraft. So all of these are using the old API right now. So I think this should work. I really don't feel like testing in the older versions though. Maybe I'll give it a run later. But the API is pretty different in the older versions. Okay, so 1.20.1 is when we change. Alright. So for Forge, let's see. So this will clearly not work. We need to add something in the event bus client, I feel like. Okay. So we're gonna need to find the rendering event. Okay, I think I got it for Forge. Actually, it has to be in the mod event bus client. So now we gotta add this for all of them now. Alright, so that's added for all of them. Let's try building this real quick. We'll run test and build because we didn't change any of the core classes. So let's see. Okay, the build has succeeded, and so let's go back to the main project and use our new registry client, event registry client, GUI rendering. There it is. And so we have a graphics holder callback. So let's see what we want to do with this. So maybe we can just stick it in the main renderer as well. So like render driving GUI. I feel like a lot of this code is temporary, at least that's how I'm treating it, because I know that in the 1.21 rewrite, a lot of things are going to change as well. So I don't know. It's not good to have such messy code, but there's a reason for that. So I'm not putting too much thought into where this method will go, but we can always just move things around later. So let's just try rendering something so to see how things will look. So if we just do text, so I'm just going to draw some white text. On the top left of the screen and see if that shows up. So this should constantly just draw text non-stop. Alright, Minecraft is up and you can see the word test on the top. And wherever I move my camera, the word still stays exactly where it's supposed to be. So that's perfect for our GUI. So let's go ahead and, I guess, start writing the code for the GUI. So I'm thinking of maybe instead of, because remember in the old version I had like a bar on top of this hotbar that says like the current selections and the doors. But I'm thinking of something a little more like modern, I guess, and have the gears displayed. I'm gonna keep saying gears, I know it's not gears, but like have all the power levels displayed on the side with the active one highlighted, and same thing for the doors, and then maybe even an indicator for how far away from the platform you're stopped at. And then if we can render a pretty cool looking speedometer, that would be great as well. So let's go ahead and work on that, and yeah, let's give it a shot. Back to our code, I think the first thing that we want to do is to take out the hotbar rendering from... there's so many files that it's sometimes hard to keep track of where things are. But I added a section that temporarily rendered, what is this? Vehicle? No, not this class. Maybe it was vehicle extension. Yeah, so I added in something right here to just temporarily show a message above your hotbar. I'm going to remove that. So yeah, back to our render. Let's move this over here so it's easier to switch between the two. And then we need this as well as driving. Actually, thinking about that, the issue is that we won't have access to the vehicle anymore. The vehicle object, so we won't be able to access properties from there. So this is the actual vehicle class. So we're gonna have to pass stuff in maybe through, through static variables. I don't really like how that's going to work, but okay, so you know what? Let's where's my main renderer? Here. Let's add a separate class just for GUI rendering. Alright. So we'll set that up and put this here, and then all the variables can be managed through here as well. So, okay. So then in our init method, I'll just call this render because that's the only thing we have on there anyway. So I'm gonna add a method called setVehicle. Okay, so in here I'm going to write the vehicle object. So let's go back to here and do driving vehicle, driving GUI render, set vehicle, this, yeah. And I also want to only do it when we're driving. So we're gonna add that check as well. And then also after the end of our rendering, we want to set vehicle to null. So that we want to make sure once we get off the vehicle and the vehicle is no longer set, we won't render the GUI anymore. Alright, so I think this will work, and we're guaranteed that it's going to be in manual mode because we're only writing the vehicle when it's manual and when we're holding the driver key. Okay, so we can probably save vehicle extra data in a separate variable so we don't have to keep referring to it. And so, yeah, I'm gonna write a for loop to show all of the possible power states. So I have that stored in vehicle notch bound. Okay, so this will go from negative from negative to positive. Okay, if I is less than... Wait a minute. I feel like there's a better way to do this. Maybe I should just make a map. Okay, so I made something pretty simple like this, just to render the manual notches, and it will highlight it in white if it's currently selected. So let's test that real quick before we move on to the doors. And thinking about the doors, right now there's only door open and door close, and it doesn't show the progress of the door opening and closing. So I'm thinking we need to track the door opening time somehow on the client side. So vehicle riding movement is actually where we are sending in the updates here. So yeah. So somehow it would be nice if we can track the door movement here as well. Actually, we might be able to just grab that from somewhere here. So, wait, I'm so confused. We don't need the main renderer anymore, just the GUI. Okay, so vehicle... We only have the door multiplier here. Let me try to find where the door value is. Okay, it's in the persistent vehicle data. So let me copy that to here, because we do want to show the actual door value there. Okay, and it's a double, okay. And I think that goes from 0 to 1, so we can show that as a percentage. And also, Minecraft has launched, so let's test out our new code. Alright, wow, that's a lot of numbers on there. So let's see in a normal Minecraft window size. I guess that works. I know in OpenBVE, they have it all collapsed and just show what it currently is, just 1 on the top. But when we accelerate, you can see we're actually moving through the different power levels, which looks pretty cool actually. I think I like this. What if we made it horizontal instead? So instead of vertical like this, we made it go across the screen. I guess that would take up too much space though. Not entirely sure, but we can go P7. P7 is actually 100 and something percent of the actual speed. So yeah, we can't go past B1 when the doors are open. Alright. Cool. Oh, let's go back here. We can stop the code and try to put in our door value as well. So for our text here, as I was saying, the different power levels correspond to a different percentage of acceleration or deceleration. So I want to reflect that somehow in there. So maybe I'll add something here. Maybe only for the selected one. So I'm gonna add a variable there. There we go, and then is selected. Alright, so something like this should work. So if this is the currently selected item, I'm going to show I, which is... Oh, actually, I don't want it to show for neutral. So if it's not neutral, then it's going to show the percentage of the power it has. So the manual notch ratio is at 5, and there are 7 possible values. So the top values, for example, P7 would be over 100% power. So I believe P5 would be 100%. So P1 would be 20%. So it goes in 20% increments. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, and 140. So P7 would be 140% acceleration. That's what that means. Alright, so let's move on to the door value. So this one will just have 2 values. Or actually, we can just have one display. Just one text to show whether the doors open or closed. Okay. So we could do something like this, just something basic. So door value times 100. Yeah. Just white is okay for this one. Alright. Let's test this. Something that came to mind while I'm working on this is back in the core, when we receive the updates for the toggling of the doors, I also want to make a check that if the door is still in the process of moving, then don't toggle the doors, or don't try to open the doors. Or actually, when the doors are still in the middle of closing, don't accelerate the vehicle. Okay, so here we have a check that if the door multiplier is greater than 0, so basically if the doors are still opened, basically this is what this is checking for. So if the doors are open, we want to clamp the max manual notch to -1, which is the brakes. So we don't want the vehicle to go into neutral or above if the doors are open. So instead of just checking the door multiplier is greater than 0, we want to check if the door has completely closed as well. But actually Minecraft just launched, so let's test that first. Alright. So there we go. Doors are 0%. And then we can go forward. And our percentage shows up as well. And I know OpenBV has an emergency brake option, but we don't have it here. Okay, when we open our doors, it goes from 100 to 0. Nice. And I guess we can't really see that from here. But I thought I put some platform blocks. Also, this train's gonna time out and gonna start moving automatically, because we have the manual to automatic time, if you remember. So I'm gonna go to the station. The train should stop automatically at the station because it's in automatic mode, so it's just gonna stop there. So the doors are at 100%, which is good. Let me just check. If we go into a car that doesn't have platform blocks, will it still show 100? I'm guessing it should, but we don't have a car that doesn't have platform blocks at the moment. So the doors are at 100. We close them. Yep. Everything works as intended. Alright, so thinking of if another UI indication might be better for this. It does take up a lot of space. I don't know. Maybe I can scrunch the text a little bit more. And like the door display, because when you open the chat window, it kind of covers up stuff. But if I make it go across the top, then the boss bar will cover it. There's so many considerations to all of this. Okay. Maybe I can put the doors on the top right. Yeah. No, sometimes people have mini-maps on the top right. Okay. I think this is good at the moment. Maybe I would want to put the status here, like doors opening or doors closing. I'm not sure. Okay, I clean up this code a little bit. I added a method to draw the status text so that the code can be a little bit cleaner here. And I've used the DC and DO conventions like the older versions. So hopefully people will recognize that. So, okay, so I'm going to test this out one more time and then think about how I'm going to work on this part. So we need some sort of timeout system where we have to wait for the doors to completely close before we can accelerate the train again. So maybe I'll add a field called door cooldown and maybe do it like this one. And if the doors are open, wait, if the doors are closed, wait, open, then we'll instantly set it to door move time plus door, just door move time is okay. Otherwise, we will decrement the number like that. Okay, so this door cooldown will automatically update itself once the door multiplier has been set. So if we go back down to where we received the updates, okay, back to where we set if our doors are open. So if instead of just checking for the door multiplier is greater than 0, we also want to check the door cooldown is greater than 0 as well. Okay, so let me go into Minecraft, test my code, and then I'll test that code in a second. Okay. So let's move the train. Ah, there we go. I like that. Oh, how come the brakes don't show the percentage? Only the power shows the percentage. Okay, and the door percentages show pretty nicely. Alright. I like this UI. I also made the text a bit closer together, and I think it's a bit more dense, and I think it looks better as well. Yeah. Alright. So maybe a little bit more space between those two would be good. So maybe just something like that. Okay. Let's see. How come this didn't show the percentage? Ah, because I over 100 will return a negative number, and I made it so that negative numbers don't show the percentage. Okay, so absolute value, that should work. Alright. And neutral shouldn't show anything as well. I think that... Oh, this is actually pretty unintuitive. I tried to press up arrow in the beginning, but up arrow doesn't make the selector go up. So instead, the P and the B should be reversed. So that should be a pretty quick fix, I think. We can just flip this around like this. Yeah. There we go. Alright, before we test that, let's go ahead and build this so that we get this latest code with the door validation. And hopefully this will work. Alright, the new code has compiled. The core has been updated. So let's test this. Okay. Now the power shows up at the top. And the brake shows at the bottom, which is pretty intuitive. And it shows the percentage properly as well. Okay, so let's stop the train. Let's try to open the doors. I wasn't able to open the doors until the train came to a complete stop. So now I'm gonna close the doors. Oh no! Okay, I guess that didn't work. So as you can see, the door close status. So the doors were still closing. Oh, that was weird. I closed the door on neutral. Or I mean, I opened the doors on neutral. I guess that works, but then you can go down, but you can't go back up. Okay, anyway, try closing it again, and I can still accelerate. So that's not good. Okay, let's check our code again. Yeah, so if the doors are open, it should clamp it to -1. And the door cooldown should be greater than 0, because the door multiplier, it should set it to this number. And then math max door cooldown minus... I don't know what's going on with this. Let's try putting a breakpoint in the code and see what that looks like. So I'm going to open the doors first. Go back here. Find the part where we're setting it. Setting the manual notch. Okay, so it should be right here. So what I'm gonna do now is to try to close the doors and then change the manual notch. So what is it at? -2? Doors open is false. How come? The door... Oh, it should be or, not and. Okay. Silly mistake. Alright, so... here. Okay, let's go ahead and build this. Stop Minecraft and we can restart that. Theoretically, this should work. Theoretically. I'm just thinking maybe it would make more sense to clamp this to 0 instead of -1. So you can leave the train in neutral while the doors are open. That's probably a bad idea in real life, but it makes the code a little easier. Because when you're neutral, you can still open the doors because the train is technically stopped. So, okay, let's test this out. We'll open the doors. Wait. Oh, okay. So we'll open the doors. And then we'll close the doors and yep, good. I can't go beyond B1. And then once the doors have closed, then I can accelerate. And now I can't open the doors right now as well until I bring the train to a stop. Okay, cool. So I think what would be really cool is if I made a speedometer here and have a needle just pointing to the speed of the train. I think that would really improve immersion. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for the speed display. So I'm looking through Google and looking at some speedometers, but actually I just had another thought. What if the maximum speed was locked to the maximum speed that the train is allowed to be? I feel like that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, so I guess instead of just cutting off the speedometer, so like if you set the maximum manual train speed to, let's say, 80, so instead of going from 0 to 80 all the way around the circle, it'll go still from 0 to 300, but it's going to gray out the areas that you can't actually get to. So this would require not just having an image like this, but actually drawing out the lines and the text labels dynamically. Okay, so let's see if this is possible. I know it's possible, but I'm just saying. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, so let's go to our driving GUI renderer. So I'm trying to comment my code a little bit better these days. So this would be render B7 to P7, I guess P to B. Render door status, and then here would be render the speedometer background. So, I'm going to see if we can dynamically check the remaining height. So final int height equals, let's do Minecraft client Windows scaled height. The autocomplete is really strong now. Actually, I don't know if it's scale height or height. I think it's just height because we want the raw height, not like the real amount of pixels on the screen. Yeah. Okay, so we want to get height minus the text Y. Okay, so we might want a little bit more space after this. We want the same amount of padding, probably. And we also want the bottom to be padded. Okay. I think instead of +1 for the spacing, I'm just going to do text height, just for simplicity. Okay, so let's see. Graphics holder, texture. Draw texture in world or I drawing texture. Okay, so x1 would be padding. Wait, I forgot. Okay, create vertex consumer, right? I forgot how to use this since I've been working with the 1.21 code, which completely changes stuff up again. Render layer GUI. Nope, we don't have that. So yeah, we can do this. Textures block sign circle. Forgot where the circle is. The file path. Okay, so it's block textures block sign circle, which I have right here. Okay. Let's see if this will even work. Okay, so padding, render Y, let's call this size, width height, and facing, let's do up. Okay. Let's try this and see if that renders the circle properly. I actually don't think I want it to be a white circle. I might just want it black colored actually, because a lot of speedometers in cars are black because it's pretty dark on the dashboard and the lines and the text is lit up by the backlight. So I'm going to try to emulate something like that here. Okay, I guess while that's building, we can try to render the other stuff here. Okay, so start angle, end angle. Okay. Okay, this is going to be a bit challenging. I is less than rail type. Diamond speed limit. Maybe we'll go in increments of 10. Wait, increments of 10 for 300. How much would that give us? That'd be 30 notches. Okay, we can always change this later. So we're gonna start. So if each speed is 1 degree of the circle, that would give us 300 degrees in a circle, which the circle has 360 degrees. So 360 minus 300 would be 60, which means we can start at 30 and go all the way around to negative 30. Something like that. Okay, let's test this real quick. All right, back into the train. Oh, what is that? Oh, that looks funny. Okay, so clearly the width and height is not working as expected. So let's take a look at this. Get scaled height is 296, get height is 886. Okay, so get scaled height was the right one. Okay, and then maybe try exterior. Because different render layers will also give us different results. So I'm going to see if this works. And if we wanted to do If we wanted to add the color parameter, do we have something in here for that? Yeah, we can specify XYZ for that. Okay, color, I want ARGB black, probably. Light. Actually, let's just try it with the old method. So I'm going to try this hot reload to see if that works. If I set the light to 0, I wonder if it'll just render it fully dark. Okay, so let's keep working on this. So starting angle would be 30. So the interval is 10. So to get the position where we would draw, I think we're going to use matrix stack transformations. That would probably be the easiest way to do this. Okay, so let's do matrix. Oh, graphics holder push. Pop. Okay, graphics holder translate. Because we want to translate padding plus size over 2, render y plus size over 2. So that would be the center of our circle. Alright, so in the center of the circle, we can start rotating. So graphics holder, rotate. Yeah, rotate z degrees. We'll start at 30. Rotate z degrees interval. That can happen afterwards. So then we'll draw. Oh, so that means we don't even need this angle thing here anymore. Oh, hot swap failed. Okay, that's okay. Graphics holder, we need to render like a rectangle as the marker. Is there a begin? Nope. So we only have draw texture. So I guess we'll do that. So we can do white.png. I think this is the right one. Yeah. Okay, so draw texture, graphics holder, and let's see. X can be padding. Padding plus maybe 2. Y can be -1. Width maybe size divided by 4. Let's do size divided by 8 right here. Size divided by 4. And then height can be 2. I promise I'm not making these numbers up. And then up. Alright, let's see what this gives us. Alright, so this should draw us the ticks on the circle. So what this is... Oh wait, I think I made a mistake here. But... this should probably be like size over 2. Well, if the size of that is size over 4, I guess using decimals to multiply this might be easier. So let's do negative size times 0.9. Okay, let's just do something like that first. Okay, so basically my rectangle for each tick would go out 0.9 times of the radius. Oh wait, no, I just realized I did this wrong. Okay. So this is the radius of the circle. We'll be going out 0.9 of the radius of the circle, and then rendering with the size of 0.2 times the radius of the circle. And then the y and the height is just the thickness of the line. So hopefully that would work. Alright, here we go. And ooh, look at that. Okay, I have no idea why it fades in color like that. But that looks really cool. I think it has to do with the normal. It has to do with the normal vector of what we're doing here. Yeah, that looks really awesome. Okay, so the circle is black, as we've hoped. It's not fully black, which is good as well. So let's go back to our code. Yep, our light is 0. Direction, what is the positive z direction? I think that's actually north. So let's try, instead of up, we do north. Maybe the lighting would be a bit better. So, as we can see from here, it did rotate 30 degrees. But 0 is treated as here. So, instead of 30 degrees, we'll minus 90 degrees from that. 30 minus 90 would be negative 60. So let's do negative 60 right there. Hopefully this hot swap works so that I can see. Oh, okay, the lighting changed. I'm wondering if I can do max light interior. Would that change anything? But anyway, this is looking really promising and I'm really excited about this. Okay, so instead, okay, 0.9 and 0.2, I think those values look good. Maybe I can bump that up to 0.95 as well. Oh, there it is. Wait, how come this looks a little bit... It looks off-centered. Oh, I know why. It's because in the for loop, we want to include 300 as well. And the interval, instead of 10 degrees, maybe we'll do 20. Or actually, we can do long and short lines depending on what the number is. Just like a real speedometer. Okay, so y of 1. Give me a second here. Okay, so this would... I don't want it... I don't want the line so thick, so maybe instead I'll do negative 0.5 and then height of 1. And then instead of 9, we'll do 9.5. And then the radius would depend on what the number is. So if I mod 20 equals 0, so we'll do 0.2, otherwise 0.1. So this will give us longer and shorter lines, depending on the number. Yeah, I guess thinking about it, it would make sense to make the speedometer only display up to the speed limit of the train anyway. But I also want to show the speed limit of the track on here as well. Oh, look at that. Nice. So this will be 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So the needle would really only go up to here if you're driving like 80. So it would make more sense to go all the way, thinking about it. But this looks so much better already. Okay. Oh, I know why. Because this is exterior. So if we do light, then this will be much brighter. So, okay. Yep. Yeah, okay, let me try to make this only go up to the vehicle max. So vehicle extra data. Is it here? Persistent vehicle data? Oh no, can I not access that? Vehicle. Where do I normally access that data? It's vehicle extra data, right? Max manual speed, yeah. So maybe that's private or something. Yeah, it has protected access. So we need to make that public. Let's see, where is that? Generally, I like to put these in the rough order of where they appear. Oh, this is a lot to look at. As I mentioned, I would also like to show the vehicle speed limit, the rail speed limit as well. So let's see how we can get that. So back in this class, rail progress. Maybe that's too much for right now, but I do want to add that in. That'd be really cool. So if we go back here, oh, the path data already has a speed limit to it. All right, I wrote a little method here. Oh, let me build this code first so that we can get our... Wait, I'm just reading. What is this? Okay, so I'm just building this code so that we can use the vehicle manual speed limit. And then here, I am saving in the speed kilometers per hour and making it accessible here. So yeah, in the GUI, I am thinking of changing this. Okay, so the max vehicle, max manual speed. Divided by 30, I guess. This is a little bit complicated because of the intervals required. So let's change this here first. Okay, so it's going to go from 0 to the max manual speed, and yeah, depending on how many numbers are in between. Depending on how many numbers are in between, we're going to change the interval. So last time we had 10 degrees for 300. So if we divide this by 300, so that means there were 30 ticks right there. So, if we want 30 ticks, so that means if we divide by, okay, so let's say the speed limit was 300. 300 divided by 30 will give us 10 ticks, or 10 is the interval. If we have less than that, let's say we had speed limit of 80, then the interval would be higher. Oh wait, the interval would be lower. Okay, this is tricky. And I also want to round it to the nearest 5 kilometers per hour. So to do that, we would have to divide it by 5 and then times 5. So essentially 150. Something like that. So, okay, let's test this out real quick with some example numbers. So, if my speed is 300 divided by 150, round to the nearest number would be 2. 2 times 5 would be an interval of 10. Okay, so if my speed limit was 80, 80 divided by 150, 0.53 rounded would be 1. That's going to be an issue though if this gets too low. What about if we kept that at 30 and just rounded it like that? Okay, just for simplicity, I'm going to just make that 5. Make the interval 5. So if it's a multiple of 20, it'll be a long line. Multiple of 10 will be a shorter line. And then if it's a multiple of 5, it's even shorter. Cool, and then wait, where's my color? Alright. So I've decided to, hardcode the interval to 5. And I added a color parameter here. So if the tick mark is at the kilometers per hour, then it's going to show in green instead. So let's do if this is greater than 0 and. So if it's at 0, like it's not set for some reason, then it's not going to show up. Okay, so cool. Let me make this multi-line so it's easier to read. X, Y, Z. And then this is the color and the light. Perfect. Okay. Now to draw the final red bar, I think what we can do here is to push one more time, push the matrices, and then pop this. Draws, speedometer ticks, and then here would be drawn. Wow, did you see that autocomplete? It guessed what I was going to type. That's crazy. Speedometer needle. Okay, so we're gonna do something like this again. Instead of 60 degrees, we're going to just rotate it to the angle that we want, which is the vehicle speed. Get adjusted speed, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. Again, we need to multiply that to get kilometers per hour. Okay, this should work. Let's see if we can hot reload successfully. Alright, so let's jump on the train. Oh, so it only goes to 80. Is it? Yep. Okay, maybe we need to multiply the angle so that it spreads out all over the circle. Okay, anyway, let's go to the front and see if the speed limit kicks into effect. Okay, so the speed is 300 right now. So it's probably not going to show anything until we get to a section of the track. Oh, what happened? Why did that crash? Oh, wait. Maybe it had to do with the hot reload. I feel like it's not a crash related to this. But also I used the wrong method right here. I should have used draw texture, like this one up here. So let's see what we want to do here. So for the interval here, okay, I replaced some of these with constants, and now with the rotation, it should span the whole thing. Yeah. Okay, so with this, it should work. Okay. One thing I want to do also is draw the digital text as well. So let me set the speed. This is the speed of the vehicle. Sure, let's make that a double. And then for the speed here, we're going to text. Oh, draw centered text, that'd be helpful. So I wonder if this draws it with a shadow or not. Let me check. Oh, it does have a shadow. Don't really want a shadow. It's okay. We will figure it out. So, I want to draw this after the matrices pop. So the text would be math.round speed kilometers per hour times 10 divided by 10. This is a way to just get one decimal point. Actually, I might have a utility for that. Yeah, there we go. And then let's see, x would be padding plus size over 2 y would be render y plus size. Actually, this can be replaced with radius. Doesn't like that float number. Okay, render y plus size minus text height. Let's do times 2. Or just size times 0.6. Sure. All right. Let's try that. And actually maybe 9. 5 minus text height. Okay. This is just some minor positioning. If you are confused what I'm doing, don't worry about it. Okay, so we have the needle, we have the numbers. I do want to draw the numbers on here as well, but I'm not exactly sure how this would look. So if I do the same thing here, so the x can be, this will be rotated by the way, so take x plus radius times 0. Because I want it after the lines. Oh, and I only wanted multiples of 20 if I mod 20 equals 0. Okay, so 0.2. This will be, or 0.25, that'll be pretty close to everything. Y can be 0, I think. And let's round this to an int. So this should draw the text at this spot. I might have to do a graphics holder push and the graphics holder pop. And then translate this. Yeah, so translate it over first. Plus line height. Sure. I don't know. And then we need to rotate the degrees back. Okay. I'm thinking just this. Okay. Anyway, let's test what we have for now. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay, so the speed is showing. Okay, this is pretty cool. But I think it's because of the way the textures are being rendered that this looks weird. Okay, is it showing the rail speed limits yet? Okay, let's max it out. Okay, we're at 80 now. The labels look pretty funny as well. Gotta fix that. Whee! So maybe when we hit that 60 track when we come back, it'll start showing... Oh, look. This overlay looks funny. Yeah, when we come back on the 60 rail, then it's going to show the right stuff, hopefully. Okay. Oh, see that speed limit? What rail is this? That's a 40 rail, I think. Yeah. The speed limit is 60 now. Okay, so that jumped to 60. Okay, and we were on the platform rail. The speed limit is going to stay the same. And then it's going to go up to 300 and disappear. Perfect. Okay, that works as expected. Maybe I think we can clamp this to the max manual speed kilometers per hour, actually. So that would make more sense. So even if the tracks are at 300, we're going to say the speed limit is where it's supposed to be at. Okay. Which means that our needle will probably have to be shorter so that we can actually see the colors on the tick. And we also have to fix this vertex consumer issue. Alright. This is looking really promising. And we don't actually need this. Okay, let me just fix this real quick and try it again. Alright. Fix some code, let's give this a go. Oh, the rotation is still off. And the needle is not rendering properly. Let's take a look at that. Yeah. Once I draw the text, the vertex consumer gets messed up. So, I think I just gotta change it like this. Let's try to hot reload that. But yeah, you can see that the speed limit right now is at 80. I think the text is actually rotated negative 60 degrees, so all I have to do here is add 60. You can just do it like this. The text is still pretty big. Like this text, I mean. I might have to scale it down somehow. Scale stuff down before I render it? Hot reload failed again. Okay, I'm back. Made some code changes. Oh, look at that. That looks really good, but the labels aren't showing now. Gotta figure out what's up with that. Oh, I see the 60 way up here. Okay, let's slow it down. It's actually really hard to drive a train. Okay, having too much fun here. That probably wasn't a perfect stop, but it's okay. Okay, let's go back and see. Oh, I also wonder if the needle is rendering like on top of the text or not. Ah, yes it is. Perfect. That's what I wanted. And I know it's really annoying that the text messages appear over the speedometer. I don't know what to do about that. Like, where would I position this so that that doesn't happen? I know people usually have their map over here. Maybe I can put the speedometer on the bottom right, actually. Might be the best option. Let's see. Yeah, I think that would be the best option. Although I need to figure out why these labels aren't showing up properly. Like, they should be rotating. Ah. Yes, I put the pop up there. Okay. I hope this hot reloads. I don't know why that fails so often. And just curious to see what the radius is right here. about 40. So that's a pretty good size. Oh, the reload worked. And wow, okay. There we go. Labels are in. So I do want to also try making the max speed 300. And we need to refresh and clear the vehicles, which is a little bit annoying. I might just make it auto clear once the manual settings are updated, but that would have to be a change in the core. Okay. Whoa, why is it rotating? Okay, I know why. Haha, but that's kind of funny. But the labels do render pretty well though, I must say. Okay, so yeah, let me try maxing out this train. This isn't supposed to happen. Okay. So if I make the radius of the speedometer bigger, then yeah, that might be good. And also maybe it'll make the needle a little bit narrower. Yeah, make the needle a little bit narrower so that we can actually see the speed limit as well. Oh, we're hitting the depot. That's why we're slowing down. Yeah, the depot is the only place where we will slow down automatically. Otherwise, yeah, the depot is the only part where we'll slow down automatically. Otherwise, we won't automatically stop at the station. So that's what's different from the 3.2 version of the mod. Okay, let's fix that. So yeah, with this rotating, we can just add a push and a pop. That should be good. Okay, speedometer size. Maybe I'll make that 48. I like using multiples of 16 or multiples of 8 for stuff. I don't know, it just feels better. Okay, made some code changes. I moved the speedometer back on the right side. Let's see. How come the train's not moving? That's weird. Do we have to refresh and clear it again? That's gonna be pretty annoying to deal with. Okay. There we go, the train's moving. I think the speedometer is too small. It needs to be double the size. Oh, where am I? I think I overran the station way too much. Okay. This looks really promising. And yeah, I think all we have to do is to increase this to maybe 96. So that's gonna be, oh, that's gonna be double the size. It's okay. It's okay, yeah. Better than being too small, in my opinion. Okay. So the last piece is to draw the indicator of how close you are to the platform. So I might leave that for tomorrow because, as you can see in the time of my computer clock, I've been working all day on this. So yeah, this is probably a good stopping point for this portion. and then I'll come back and finish up the video there. Let me just launch the game to test the size change to see if that's good. Alright, that looks much better. Oh, let's see on the small screen how that looks. That looks really good too on the small screen. Even though this text could be a little bit higher. Okay, and the red needle goes above the text, which is exactly what we want. Cool. Okay, maybe... yeah, the speed limits also show really nicely. Okay, maybe what we have to do... this one, maybe we'll set it to 0.6 or something. Instead of 0.75, which is like in between here. 0.6 would be somewhere here. Whoa! Oh, okay. Okay, let's go a bit faster. The train is so jerky. I still haven't figured out why that happens. It's really annoying. 140% braking speed. And max acceleration, let's go. Alright. I think everything's working pretty well. I'll continue the second part of this tomorrow. Yeah, just gonna enjoy this a little bit and then continue on the next part. Okay, we automatically stop at the depot, but I guess we could also just force it to stop faster. Yeah. And then we can go a little bit. Oh, it just stopped. Okay. We can open the doors as well. Cool, alright. Alright, it's a new day and I'm back to coding. So, what do we have to add now? We have to add the indicator that shows up when we are arriving at a station. Okay, so maybe I am going to do that down here. So draw platform stopping indicator. Alright, so I want that to render on the right side above the speedometer. So maybe somewhere in the middle so it won't like overlap with people's maps. Maybe just a small little indicator. Maybe instead of speedometer size, we'll call this like tool size. Okay. So first we need to get the window height. And then we need to draw the thing itself. Let's call this stopping accuracy. What should we call it? Platform indicator. Indicator X and platform indicator Y would be window height minus tool size times 2 minus padding times 2. Yep. Window width minus, I'm just going to say padding times 3. Okay. And then we need to get the vertex consumer again so that we can actually draw the rectangle. All right. Let's see. So we'll actually draw the texture out. Draw texture, platform indicator X and Y. The height would be tool size. And then light would be... I actually want this to be colored, so X, Y, Z, and then platform indicator X, platform indicator Y, Z, facing color. Color, I'd want to... What's a nice blue color? I don't know. I just made that up. Okay, so that would be the main line. Actually, yeah, okay, that's fine. So I want to draw another horizontal line indicating the perfect spot to stop at. So this will probably be platform indicator X, Y plus tool size over 2 minus 1 or minus 0.5. So same thing here. Minus, okay, this one would be plus 0.5. Okay, so we'll basically draw out a plus shape, an elongated plus shape that would, oh, we need to minus padding plus padding times 2. Okay, so this will be like a T shape that shows the perfect stopping position for the train. Okay, actually I'm thinking about this. Maybe it'll be better to put it on top. Okay, let's see how that looks first. Actually, while Minecraft is building, we might as well figure out now how we can get the platform stopping percentage. So let's go back to our vehicle extension and we can add a method here, public double get platform stopping get platform stopping position and so we need to take in the rail progress into account. Maybe it would be easier to also store that as a variable, so since we already have the path data right here, so current index, So we have our path data. And we'll probably also need to grab the end index as well. Okay, well, Minecraft launched, so let's test it. All right, what are we testing? Oh, yes, the stopping indicator is right here. The blue color looks kind of weird, so I'm gonna change that. For some reason we're having the same issue, probably because the path didn't generate properly. Still need to take a look at that. So basically, there's an issue where... Okay, let me try to move now. Yep, so it's enabled to move, and then if I refresh that, okay. Okay, so just a normal refresh should do. Okay. Okay, sorry. Was investigating a bug. But, okay, seems like we're good to go. The driving looks pretty good. And we have our indicator bar on the right. Like that. And then if people have their map right here, I don't think... Hopefully it won't interfere with this. We'll see. Alright, and then... Yeah, right now the bar isn't going to do anything. Because we didn't code it in yet. Okay, actually while we're here, I have an idea. We're gonna use this color selector and try to get a nice blue color. So... probably something like this. I just want like a pastel sky blue color. So if we do AACCFF, that looks pretty good. Okay, we'll put that right here. Oh no, that's the gray. Yeah, that's that color. Cool. And then... oh, it changed to automatic. And the gray color, the horizontal line can stay. That's fine. Okay, so what we need now is to have some way to get the platform progress, stopping position. Okay, so we have the head index. And I also want the path of the end index. Okay, so first we're going to check if path data head dwell time is greater than 0 or path data end dwell time is greater than 0. So I want the indicator to show if the head is in the platform rail or the end is still in the platform rail. Basically, when the vehicle is in the platform rail, it's going to show as having a dwell time, which makes sense because that's where you're supposed to stop. So, path data head, yeah, path if... Okay, so let's see. Let's get the length first. Platform length equals path data head get rail length, get rail length. Okay. So the target would be path data head and distance and distance. Yep, I think that's correct. Okay, so let me think. Because if the train is off, we have to figure out whether the platform length is greater or the train length is greater. That would determine the scale, I suppose. Or the scale before and after would be different. Okay, doesn't matter. We will... Wait, how is the end index fetched? Okay, total length is the number. Okay, so rail progress minus target. We could just use this raw value. And then, yeah, okay. So I'm gonna add two variables here. So one would be platform stopping position, and the other would be platform length and vehicle length. So these would all be used for returning to the client. Actually, maybe it might be better to do an object instead. So double object immutable pair of double immutable pair platform stopping details. Okay, so our platform stopping details we would put in the rail progress minus target. Actually, let's do target minus rail progress, and then platform length and total length. That'll be the vehicle length. Okay. Alright. I think this is good, else platform stopping details is null. Cool. So let's put in the type and platform stopping details. So this is nullable. So when we're not near a platform, this will return null. Okay, so let's go back to our GUI and get the data here. Double object, double. There we go. So the indicator here will actually be drawn differently. Okay, so this is the vertical bar, this is the horizontal bar. Final bar y would be equal to platform stopping details target. Yeah, target y would be platform stopping details right. Left is the platform length, but we want the okay, let's just break it out, make it easier to read. Right, left. Oh, right. We need to check if this whole thing is null first. Okay. Platform length, and then we have vehicle length. Right, double. Okay. So the target y would be the vehicle length divided by vehicle length, platform length plus vehicle length times tool size. So it's like a percentage. So this one plus this one minus 0.5. Okay, and these need to be floats. Cool. Okay, finally we need to draw the actual line itself. And we can copy this. Padding over 2. Padding times 1.5. Okay. So now this target y, or actually the value would be instead of vehicle length, we would have vehicle length minus platform stopping details left. I think that should be correct. Because if we... Oh no, it should be plus, I think. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Position Y. That's all we have to change. And then the color, maybe I'll do a darker gray color. Hey, let's see how this looks. Because, yeah, I might have to change up the UI a little bit if it looks too ugly. But let's check it out. So right now, what's going on with the math here is that we're getting the vehicle length, which is the top portion, because remember the vehicle length is after you leave the platform, and then the platform length is the portion when you're entering the platform, so one will be stacked over the other. So the vehicle length would be the percentage of the top section over the whole length. So that's why we're getting the Y position from that. And then for the actual vehicle position, we're also getting the vehicle length. And then remember that the number that we're returning is going to be the offset from the perfect position. So after adding the vehicle length, we'll be at the perfect position, and then we'll be adding, we'll be adding the offset from the perfect position. I think it'll be also cool to show a percentage as well of how far off we are, or at least show a number, like how many meters off the perfect point we're currently at. But that shouldn't be too hard to add as well. Okay, so let's test it out. Alright, so nothing's showing right now, which is expected, because we need to be close to the platform first. So let me go to the front of the train so that we can see out better. Oh, we should start braking. Okay, yeah, once we hit the platform, the bar immediately starts showing, and ooh, we overran a little bit. Alright, that worked. And then let's try keep going. Let's keep going. And once the tail of the train leaves the platform, the thing disappears. Perfect. Alright. It works first try, let's go. Oh, one thing I would like to test is what happens if we back out of the same platform. So we haven't had a chance to test that yet. Okay, let's see if I can stop this train perfectly at the station. Oh. Let's go a little more. Stop! Okay, that's pretty perfect. That's a pretty good stop. Alright. Little bit underrun. Just like less than half a block off. Nice! Okay, that was pretty fun. Now let's bring the train full speed back to the end. Actually, I want to change up the tracks here, just to test what happens if we are backing out instead. So let's connect this up to here, and then we will refresh the path. Let's go back to our train. I also haven't tested manual driving in general with the backing up like that, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, max it out till the second station. I should have made the speed limit to 300 so we can get there faster. I really like the look of the speedometer. The indicator could use a little bit of work, but I'm not sure how to improve the UI at this moment. Okay, so we're quickly approaching the station. Oh, the train. Wait, what just happened? I couldn't tell what happened. Are we just looping back like this? Okay. Okay, I think I know what the issue is. Yeah, and probably turn-back rails would have issues as well with the manual driving. Okay, good thing we tested, and you know, I'm going to try adding a turn back in here. See how the train does with that. Because theoretically the train should reverse properly, but now it doesn't. Okay, so that's another turn back. Refresh that. Oh, how come it says path not found? Oh, because I connected the wrong track. Should be this one. Okay. So I think the train will just treat that as a normal track and just back out. So that shouldn't happen. Okay, let's go one more time and then we'll investigate the code. But overall, the platform indicator works perfectly. Maybe just like a style change would be nice, but it's working already, which is good. Let's slow the train down a little bit so we can see what's going on. Oh, that's really slow. I'll bring it up to 40. 39.9. Okay, so what's gonna happen is the train's gonna flip back and loop around itself, basically. And it'll probably do the same thing over at that turn back as well. So we need something to check if it's opposite rail, basically. Okay, let's take a look at what this train does. It's gonna flip around and just go through itself. Yep. Alright, at least we tested. Cool, now let's max this out. Because it should automatically stop at the depot as well. Oh, it also shows right here at the depot. I don't know if I like that, but it's okay. Right? Wait, actually, does the depot have a negative dwell time? I don't know. Okay, just gonna test something real quick to see if... Okay, this works. Cool. Just testing another bug we have there. Okay. So yeah, I did want to put some extra indication to the stopping position as well. Wow, look at the autocomplete. It already knows what I'm trying to do. Isn't that crazy? Let's do 2 decimal places, actually. Wow. I'm really impressed at the autocomplete here. But we don't want to draw centered text. We want text with shadow this time. So I'm going to use graphics holder, draw centered text this time. This way we can also set the X and Y values. Actually, wait a second. Text width equals graphics holder. Okay, so we'll display the meters. And actually, okay. Text width would be graphics holder, get text width, and then text, draw text, would be text. X would be platform indicator X minus padding minus text width. Y would be position Y minus text height over 2. Oh, This only takes integers, so we'll have to translate the text better. White. We'll use shadow this time. Graphics holder get default light. Okay, so instead we'll have to do the matrices or graphics holder push and graphics holder pop and then graphics holder translate. And then this would go here instead. And then this can just be 0, 0. All right. Cool. Okay, the text part should be good. Now I'm going to figure out why the turn back isn't working. Good thing we tested. I would have just pushed this out to people and just call it good, but we can't do that. So let's take a look at, I think is opposite. Yep. We have some checks here. If opposite, then rail progress. We'll need to add the vehicle length to it. Okay. Does our startup method have that check? No, it doesn't. All right, so we basically need that opposite check. What is this code? Oh, generate. Oh, we're in the siding. Oops. Okay, so let's copy this and go into our moving simulation. And then this is where we increment our rail progress. So we could make some checks here as well. Okay. I'm thinking if we did move our checks here, then for the automatic part, we don't even have to do the checks up here. No, it might mess up the signaling and stuff, so okay. So double old rail progress. Oh. Okay, if is currently manual. Wait, let me check something. Reset next stopping index. Okay, we're gonna have to verify that as well. Like if the train becomes automatic right before a turn back, will it still follow the tracks properly? Okay, so old rail progress. And okay, so we need the opposite check. We need the path datas. So we have the current index for us. Okay, let's move these checks in here. Is it current index -1? Oh. Okay, this is going to be tricky. Or I could just make it automatically slow down and stop. I don't know. I don't really want to do that because it kind of takes the fun out of it. I don't want the train to automatically stop at the turn back. I think turnback rails have a dwell time. That's why the train knows to stop behind it. Okay, I think I've got something here. So we're gonna check. So after we pass the turn back, the current path data, this will be basically the previous path data, -1. So if the previous isn't null and the old rail progress is still inside the previous, and then we'll get the next path data, which is what we're currently on, and we'll check if it's the opposite rail. If so, then we'll add the rail length to it. Okay, this seems to work. Alright, let's give it a go. What did we change again? Oh, why did the train suddenly teleport there? Oh, that was weird. Oh, we changed the turn back system. And also the display. How come it's so offset? The number here. Let's see. Position Y. Oh, because we needed to add this, I think. Okay, so actually what I'm going to do right here is do a scale. Like that. So the text can be a little bit smaller. So we're translating it to the right center point of the text, and then we're scaling it down, and then we're drawing the text with these offsets. Okay. Why do we have a out of bounds exception? Is that why it glitched out? Not sure. Oh, the path. Yeah. Let's do this. Utilities, get element. This is a custom method that I made to avoid these out of bound exceptions. Instead, it'll just return null. So, path data head is not null, and path data n is not null. So we'll do that. So that should be good. Okay, whether this reloads or not, let's test the turn back, see if that works. Oh, let's slow down. Slow down! Nope, it still does that. We'll slowly go to the turn back over there. Oh, see? Yeah. The indicator appears here as well because this does have a dwell. Did I overrun that already? And did the rail progress add up? I don't know. This is confusing. Alright, we're back again. Let's test this. Oh, I also changed the rendering of the speedometer a little bit, but it seems like it's too close together, the two lines. But I decided to separate the number speed with the kilometers per hour label, so hopefully to give us more space there. Okay, so let's test out. I also changed the indicator. I think that looks better, except that this black line is too long. I'm gonna fix that real quick before I forget. So should be one of these here. Yeah, not times 2, just padding. And then here, line height, not line height over 2. And then probably move this back to 0.6. Okay. Alright, anyway, let's test the turn back because that's what I'm here for. Whee! Yeah, manual driving is pretty fun. Let's see if I can stop this train perfectly this time. I guess technically you can just let the train keep rolling to a stop. Oh, 0.3. 0.1. Oh, what happened there? I think the train did turn back properly that time though. I did make a code change. And I think the player will just get snapped to... Yeah, there we go. Oh. Wait, I didn't really see what happened. Oh, I think I know what's wrong. So, instead of adding the rail length, we need to add the vehicle length. Total vehicle length. So I think that's what that was. Okay. Hey, let's not wait for this to try to hot reload. I'm just gonna build this and then run Minecraft again. Okay, fingers crossed this should be the final build. Let's see, unless there are more features that I can add. I could add something about on-time performance, but... Or the dwell time. I don't know. Maybe not right now. Yeah, not right now. Alright. Let's see how this looks. Okay, the speedometer looks much better, but I think the text can move down just a tad. So 6.5 might be a good number. Okay, let's go. See how that looks. Mainly we're testing the turn back as well, but I'm gonna try to stop the train perfectly at the station here. Not even close. 32 meters off. Alright. Okay. Let's start braking. I think it would be pretty cool to have a target set. So like, depending on your speed and your deceleration, draw a marker where the train will stop based on your current settings, but I feel like that's a little bit too cheaty, and that takes the fun out of it. Maybe like some settings would be good for that. Okay, I'm just going to go slow. I'm not going to try to stop the train and see. Oh, one thing I forgot was to reverse the train. Yeah. So the train does turn back properly, but it doesn't reverse out nicely. Oh, let's slow it down, slow it down. Yeah. It flips properly, but it doesn't flip the train itself. Okay. Let's see how we can fix that. So, reverse. Do we ever reverse the train? Okay, so yeah, vehicle data, get total vehicle length, and then reverse. So that's what we're trying to do. Just this one line should fix it. Okay. Okay, we're back again. The speedometer looks much better. I think the text is at a good location right now. And let's test the turn back. I'm not going to try to stop at the station. Oh, slowed down there too fast. Okay, I'm just going to coast at 40 again. Let's see what happens here. Yes, okay. That's good. We just bounce back. That's exactly what we want. Even though it's not really realistic. But that's the expected behavior. Okay. Bounce. And go. There we go. Alright, I think that's fixed. Gonna call that good. What I'm gonna do right now is to try to stop at the station again. This is pretty fun to play with. So I'm gonna cruise at around 80 and then I'm gonna slow down, slowly brake the train. Oh, that's too fast. Still 100 meters off. Cruise at 36. Okay, start braking. I think people will get the hang of this and get really good at it. Oh, 1.6. No! And there's no way to reverse the train right now, so... And I don't think I'm gonna add that functionality. just because it'll add a lot of complexity with the signaling and scheduling, all that stuff. Okay. Close the doors. Alright. I think this is all working as expected, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. Yeah, about the indicator showing on the siding, I don't really want that. So I think what we can do actually is check here. If path data head our head index is less than vehicle extra data immutable path -1 size. Yeah, so if we're nearing the last index, then don't show it. Yeah, because I don't want it to show at the depot. Alright, so let's try that again, and we'll call it good. Alright, here we go again. What am I testing this time? Oh, that the bar doesn't show when we're approaching the siding. So let's just speed towards the end. Whee! And actually, I want to test one thing, so let's slow down here. So, well, first I want to test the bounce back, because that looks pretty funny. Bounce. And then also, I want to test, let's see. I want the train to be basically inside the turnback. And then I'm going to stop the train and change it to auto mode. See what happens there. Oh, slow it down. Okay, train's entering the turnback. Let's put a little more in. Okay, there, the bar is showing now. I'm gonna exit the train and watch what happens to it when it changes to auto mode. Should only take 12 seconds because that's what I configured on the siding. Okay, it's moving. Okay, it stops nicely and goes. Alright, cool. So the switching works. Now I'm gonna regain control of the train and instantly stop it. I could open the doors, but there are no platform blocks, so that's not gonna happen. Maybe I should include a force open door option. That might be cool, but I don't see why anyone would need that. Okay, so the final test would be when we're approaching the siding, the train shouldn't show the indicator. Oh, slow it down, slow it down. Alright, let's see. No indicator, cool. Yep, and that auto stopped. Now if we want to go again. Cool, okay. Really happy with how this turned out. Yeah, I think it's a good time to wrap up the video now because, yeah, we basically achieved what we wanted to get done in this video. I know this video ended up to be super long, but I think it was worth it. And I really enjoyed working on these features. Yeah, unfortunately, I just didn't add driving for the longest time. Maybe I thought that it was a long feature, so I got lazy. But it's finally here. Thank you, Churbert, for convincing me to add add this back to the mod for 4.0, and hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It lets me know that you're still interested in the mod and you would like to see future updates as well. Alright, see you next time and enjoy this update. Bye!